Let's keep going to your calls. Mark in Oregon, you're on the air.
Hey, good evening, Jason, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Jason, with what you just read there, and there are a number of things that have already accumulated at this point as far as pointing in the direction that things are going, as far as these people, if you want to call them that are perpetrating this. And you combine that with what the Homeland Security Chief, Janet Napolitano, said just today, I believe.
And what did she say today? I missed it.
That the flu as it is now, this is not the last of it, that it's going to come up here and it's going to be worse, essentially, is what she said. She said in a way that it was an inevitability, from what I could understand, because that came from Alex. Plus, I did hear it somewhere along the line. It might have been on one of Alex's shows. Time's kind of running together close for me right now, so it's all... the thing is, Jason, that Steve Quayle, as well as Dr. Bill Deagle, Dr. Deagle was on Alex's show yesterday on his Sunday show, as well as on Friday's show, I believe. I might be mistaken about that, but he was also on today's show, and I haven't had a chance to hear it yet. But he has no doubt that this is a bioengineered virus, because it's three-faceted. It's human, porcine or swine flu, human flu, which is a very bad strain of human flu, and the deadly form of the bird flu, all combined. And then, excuse me, we're looking basically, from all obvious appearances, at the surface, being who we are, of indications, in my view, even if Steve Quayle hadn't said what he said today. And I want to mention that in just a moment. But we're looking at what is very obviously an ongoing program here. This does not stop with what's happened in Mexico. This is already all the way around the world, at least for the last 24 hours, in locations, and the locations are becoming more numerous. And it is really totally contradictory to the idea that it broke out in Mexico only and spread all the way over to these places almost simultaneously, if not simultaneously. But it was a month ago that they reported their first case down there, so it's a possibility that through air traffic it could have spread by that time, okay? But what Steve said was, Jason, is that this is the first part of a very large plan, and that this is really, we're not going to get any breaks, essentially, in between events on a biological level now. There may be other dominoes which they tip over in other areas that they work in as far as manifesting events to control us and keep us in fear and ultimately to destroy us, which they may run concurrently to the biological area, and we have to keep that in mind. But the main reason for my call, Jason, is with the view that there's a probability, at least in such a danger area as this, that could kill a person very quickly, as well as taking forced vaccinations, which could kill you just as quickly and badly. That we do look at the whole picture here and not just at what happened in Mexico, because now truly it is around the world, and now we have to wait and see. One of the main things, I think, is to see what the mortality rate is. But it's reported at 6% in Mexico, as I understand it, and the Spanish flu of 1918 to 1920 had a 2.5% mortality rate, and they list 100 million people died globally in that 1918 epidemic to 1920 at that time. So now that would be equivalent to something almost 200 billion people. So,
you mean 200 million?
Or 200 million, yes. Yeah. So, it's mainly what I say, Jason, is just we need to look at the whole picture, not just at the present time, but everything that's in the present and what it indicates as to where we're going in the near future time, according to plan of the Illuminists who are out to destroy us and kill us all, and this would certainly be a way to do it. We're in the area of dying here, and that report you just read really kind of underlines what I say.
No, you know what, I have to agree with you, and we talked about the possibilities of them putting out a pandemic or something of a bio attack in this country. I think that they're, if they were planning on any kind of bird flu or whatever, that was stopped with us talking about Baxter and what they had done with the vaccinations. What I can't believe is that they're going to farm out the inoculations to Baxter after the fact. you'd think that at least some foreign media would jump on that and say, hey, we don't want your swine flu vaccine. Your bird flu vaccine was contaminated with 3 separate types of viruses.
It used to be for a long, long, long time, up until 9/11, basically, that things were done behind closed doors in buildings which they controlled with had been screened and cleaned for no listening devices and such like this, because if it got out to the public, then it would be a tremendous blow to their plans, because we still had representation in the U.S. Congress, and if it got to Congress, that was the end of it all. They get it straightened out for us, but we've lost our representation there, and now it's all one big club, so they can do anything they want, and they know in reality from what they've already gotten away with that they can just get right out there and do it in the open, just like they did 9/11 really clumsily. I mean, it could have been done other ways, but they really didn't care to be that careful about it. They knew that it would be a test to overcome any doubt about it, and that once that was overcome, they felt they could overcome it. They went ahead and, just really didn't do a whole lot. They just denied and tried to control us with fear about even questioning 9/11, because they already had us in a point, and they had things that they were going to plan off of the way things already were, that they had already accomplished, and they built successes on successes up to a point where their momentum is just apparently unstoppable up to this point. But
hopefully it's unstoppable.
We'll keep telling the truth, and that has power in itself. And I sure do appreciate you being out there, you and Alex, and all the good truth tellers, Jason, and all the time you
Mark,
gave me.
thank you so much, man. You got it. First they pull the black operation, and then they pull the psychological operation afterwards. That is the case with 9/11. And you got to wonder if it's going to be the same exact case here. They pull off the black operation of putting out swine flu in these separate areas, and then all of a sudden these outbreaks happen. And now the psychological operation is to see how many people go to the hospital who aren't sick. See how many people are so in fear that they're asking for an inoculation today. And that'll give them a good and clear way to understand how many people they'll be able to round up, or where they'll be able to put the inoculation, so that, mass communities coming, oh, come down to the local church, take a vaccine, you won't get the swine flu. So if this is a black op, there's definitely a psyop going on after the fact to bring in yet another black op of, mass vaccination.
The good old folks at New Silver Solution. And the website is supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. This is something that kills bacteria, viruses, you name it, well documented. They've got it down to a super small nano-sized particle. Supernaturalsilver.com. Check them out at INFOWARRIOR.com. Supernaturalsilver.com.